Oh, Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel, you're just the gift that keeps on giving. This movie is up in flames. It's going down, just like Goose. Not Goose the cat, Goose in Top Gun. At the rate this movie is going, Tom Cruise will have to pull Captain Marvel's body out of the water. And Brie Larson started this whole shitstorm with her comments, and then she wouldn't shut up. She doubled down, tripled down, and it got so bad that now Rotten Tomatoes have been censored. Now you can even leave if you want to see this movie or not. Well, what the fuck? It's like the perfect shitstorm. So not 2 days ago, I made a video predicting that this movie was going to not be super successful, but maybe make the tiniest profit. And now all of the sudden, well, what do you know? It might actually flop now. I am becoming more and more convinced that this is a real possibility. So yeah, it might be the first one, the first of the MCU that could flop. It sounds hard to believe, but here we are. And you might be wondering why is this happening? How are they letting this shit happen? It makes no sense. Well, I've given a lot of thought about this. I've thought about this for many hours. I think I have the only explanation I can come out is this. We all know what the SJWs are. They are the anti-Midas touch. Everything they touch, they turn into excrement. They did it with Ghostbusters. That was horrible. They did it with Mad Max. Well, relative speaking, I will defend Mad Max Fury Road to the death. I really like that movie. But it was also it was criticized because of all the feminist themes that it had. But like I said, I'm a super defender of this movie, of Mad Max Fury Road. I will defend it to the death, just like I said. So, well, whatever they say, the SJWs, whatever, who cares? It's just a platform. We want the platform. Like, who cares about making money? The message is the important thing. And it seems that for a while, the entire movie industry agreed with this mentality, and then they came for Star Wars. I think that was ground zero. I think that was the point where especially after The Last Jedi and Solo, when the top brass at the Hollywood people, they finally realized, okay, this wokeness, it has the potential to ruin franchises and destroy them forever. And so here, yeah, they can destroy things. They certainly. I've never was I wasn't really the biggest Star Wars fan, but I enjoyed for what it was. I liked all the original trilogy. I even liked the prequels. They're okay. Uh, the Force Awakens, whatever, it's just a rehash. But The Last Jedi, yeah, that one was really bad. And Solo, the less we talk about it, the better. Solo killed the whatever good faith I had with Star Wars. Right around the time I heard about the Lando Calrissian being a pansexual, uh, and that he was boning his sex bot. And at that moment, the franchise died to me. I had the briefest flash of this. If you remember this episode of South Park where they lost the internet, and Randy finds a computer and he jerks off and covers the entire room with semen. And for the briefest moment, I thought about Lando in that particular spot with his robot covered in cement, and that's okay. That was it. It was for, like I said, the briefest, a microsecond, but that was it. Lando was he was the smoothest man in the entire galaxy, more so than Han Solo, and they destroyed him. And no, 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 no more Star Wars for me. And I bet they probably said, "Oh, you know, Star Wars is for old people. The fan base is aging. It's a 40-year-old franchise." So okay, you could also you could make their argument. It's not 100% wrong. But then, what Star Wars did over 40 years, the MCU did it in 10. And I think that the SJWs, the woke crowd, now that they've left the dried husk corpse of Star Wars on the side, they're going to greener pastures, so to speak. So I hear I didn't see Ant-Man and the Wasp, but I hear that it's also a very feminist movie. Someone would need to clarify this for me. Like I said, I didn't see one, but I heard that criticism. And well, so now they're going for the MCU, the biggest cash cow in the history of cinema. And the woke crowd is circling it like vultures. They're waiting for their chance. They already have, in a way. Look at what's happening with Captain Marvel, and I'm wondering that, like, how does this happen? Like, and okay, obviously I'm thinking that there are some people on the board of directors or executives or whatever that they have this strong leftist ideology, and that's why they insist on putting that in the movies. uh, Fuck the cost of business wise. No, it's like I said, the message. The message is important. And Bob Iger and Kevin Feige, these guys, they're not blind. They're not dumb. They're shrewd businessmen. So they cannot be blind to what's happening. So why are they letting this happen? And yes, like I said, I think I have a the only thing I can think of is that, well, from what I hear, the reason they've come with the whole Thanos thing with the Avengers that killing all the MCU and is because the actors are getting too expensive. Robert Downey Jr. is like the most expensive thing ever. It's like it's ridiculous at this point. So they have to come out with some new characters or maybe reboot the franchise with something different, someone who's not quite so expensive, even if he's no Robert Downey Jr. Forget the fact that he's been carrying this franchise for 10 years now. So yeah, they're too expensive. So now they're apparently looking into lesser characters. Are they going to bring back these terrible characters from the comics, like Squirrel Girl, like female Thor? All of them led by Captain Marvel, the most unlikable person ever. And I think that they know, Bob Iger and Kevin Feige know that this movie is going to bomb. I think they know it's a lost cause, and I don't think that was the plan at the beginning. I sincerely thought that at the beginning they had confidence in this movie. They thought it was going to succeed, but now that it doesn't, what do they do? Well, I'll tell you what they do. They let it fail on purpose. Why? Well, because they're. This is what I'm thinking. There's a bunch of people in the board of directors or whatever, in the top brass, who are the woke crowd, let's call them. So now they insisted, they put the money or whatever, they insisted in having a super woke MCU. And now Kevin Feige and Bob Iger, they have thrown their bone at these people by making Captain Marvel. Okay, they've thrown their bone. They've given them what they want. But now, when this movie is going to bomb, and they're going to get back whatever they lost with the Infinity Wars 2 with Endgame. Now they have their excuse. They're going to go to the woke crowd and they're going paper in hand, all those red numbers, all the arrows going down, and say, "Hey, you see? Look at this. We told you this was a terrible idea, Mr. Iger. I don't think we should continue with this." And Bob Iger is gonna, yes, I say the same thing. No more, no more of this woke shit. This is poison. And yeah, okay, so they're going to lose whatever they pour into Captain Marvel. They're gonna eat that loss, but they're going to recuperate it with Endgame, and in the process, they're going to get rid of this horrible idea of getting this new woke MC universe and go back to operating like a true business, like making as much money as possible. Do not pander to people who do not give you money. Give them what they want, and that's the only conceivable reason why I can think they're doing this with Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel was not set up to fail, but now that it is going most likely to fail, they're using it to make sure that this does not happen in the future of the MCU. And that's, like I said, that's the only conceivable way I can think that this makes any sense in any way, shape, or form. But anyway, so what do you think? Are they throwing this movie under the bus on purpose? I think they could. It's like okay. Here's a good example. If you're like a criminal, let's say you're like a drug dealer, okay, and you bring tons and tons of drugs. Not that they're making anything. I'm using this as a metaphor. You're bringing tons and tons and tons of drugs, and you've got so many drugs all over the place, and so there's this container that has 10 tons, let's say, of cocaine. So you call the police and say, an anonymous tip. Hey, there's this bunch of drugs in this one place. You should go check it out. And the police goes, and yeah, and well, they're all jerking each other off and high-fiving each other over the biggest drug bust in history. All over the place, they're bringing 100 tons of drugs that you don't see, because they're focused on this one thing, and that's what I think they're doing. They're throwing this one thing under the bus to save the bigger picture, to save the rest of the property. And anyway, that's my analysis. I honestly think that that's what's going on. So, what do you think? Do you think this makes any sense, or I'm talking shit? Yeah, just leave your opinion. I want to know. Well, thank you very much and goodbye.